thank you for attending my PowerPoint presentation about Aventurine, the strongest gambler of today. As is the case with most characters introduced in the Penacony arc, he has a tragic backstory. He's insanely lucky, although it's hard to say whether that luck is a blessing or a curse. He is arguably the single strongest sustain in the game right now, providing obscene shields with great utility on top of existent personal damage. I won't call it great, but it's alright. In terms of base stats, he has the lowest attack in the game, but that's fine. He has no attack scaling in his entire kit, not even basics. And very high defense, tied with Jabbar for not the highest in the game, surprisingly. Is beaten out by Harmon Laser and Firefly, surprisingly. His basics are defense scaling, but are otherwise basic. His skill provides all allies with a Fortified Wager skill that blocks damage equal to a huge percentage of Aventurine's defense, lasting for 3 turns. When repeatedly gaining Fortified Wager through multiple skill uses or his talent plus his trace, it can stack up to double of the original skill's value. This costs 1 skill point and generates 30 energy. So his talent, first off, gives all allies that have Fortified Wager effect res. Aventurine can also resist CC once every 2 turns while he has Fortified Wager. The actual talent is, after any ally is hit, he gains 1 stack of Blind Bet. If Aventurine specifically is hit, he gains 1 extra stack, up to 10 stacks. There's no limit to the number of stacks he can gain per enemy action. It's only limited by, the number of characters you have. In practice, it's a limit of 5 with an AoE attack. Blind Bet stacks up to 10 times, and upon reaching 7 stacks, he consumes 7 to unleash a 7-hit follow-up attack, each hit doing defense scaling damage to a random enemy. This generates 1 energy per hit, for a total of 7 energy. His ult first immediately and randomly gives 1 to 7 points of Blind Bet. Then it inflicts Unnerve on a single target enemy for 3 turns. When hitting an unnerved enemy target, the crit damage increases. Then he deals defense scaling damage to the single target. This costs 110 energy. After using the technique, he increases all allies' defense by one of the following 3 amounts for 3 turns. A 30% chance for 24% defense, 60% chance for 36% defense, and 10% chance for 60% defense. They also have different animations, as you can see. When used repeatedly, the highest defense buff will be the one that actually takes effect. After 5 uses, the 60% buff is also guaranteed. So his A2 trace gives him 2% crit rate for every 100 defense that exceeds 1600, up to 48% crit rate and 4000 defense. His A4 trace gives all allies Fortified Wager equal to his skills for 3 turns at the start of combat. His A6 trace gives him a stack of Blind Bet whenever allies with Fortified Wager launch a follow-up attack, up to 3 times per Aventurine turn. After the talent's follow-up, he also gives all allies a Fortified Wager equal to 7.2% of his defense, plus a flat 96, and double to the ally with lowest shield, lasting for 3 turns. He also gains 32.5% defense, 14.4% imaginary damage bonus, and 10% effect res for minor traces. His E1 gives all allies that have Fortified Wager 20% crit damage. Additionally, after using his ult, he gives all allies Fortified Wager equal to the skills for 3 turns. His E2 causes his basics to reduce the target's all type res by 12% for 3 turns. His E3 gives +2 trace levels to his ult and +1 to his basics. His E4 gives him 40% defense right before triggering his talent. The talent also hits 3 extra times, which also generates 3 extra energy. His E5 gives +2 trace levels to his skill and talent, and his E6 gives him 50% damage bonus for every ally with a shield, up to 150% damage bonus with 3 shielded allies. When built properly, like I said, he is probably the single strongest sustain in the entire game, and he can also do considerable damage while sustaining. Since all of his damage is defense scaling, and he also gets 48% free crit rate from his A2 crits. He helps immensely against very aggressive enemies like Hule, since he gets more Blind Bet and by proxy more shields. At least I imagine, I don't actually have him. He's an amazing sustain in general, but he excels especially in follow-up teams. He represents A in the Fart Core of Facial, Aventurine, Robin, and Topaz. He also has a really cool role in the Pentaconi storyline. By the way, Hell is preferable to Nihility is also a banger soundtrack. Alright, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do like and subscribe. You might as well check out the other PowerPoints while you're watching this one if you haven't already. Alright, bye.